What's up, guys? It's the Unhinged Engineer here, back again. I'm gonna keep this video pretty chill and blunt. I had a lot of work to do for the end of the year at my job, and then I also flew home to visit my family. And so I'm a little tired. It's Sunday, and I try to get a video out every week. And I've been meaning to start this series for a while now, and I'm like, you know what? Let's start this off with just kind of one take off the cuff discussion of this vlog series, which for the record, I've never really been that much in the vlogs except for like meatheads recording their workouts. But aside from that, because I am probably could be considered a meathead myself, but aside from that, I've never really been a big vlog person. So we'll see how this goes. But um, yeah, for the friends and family who are watching probably now, um, I hope this just serves to explain a little bit better why I'm going to torture myself over the next 3 years. And for anybody who, is watching future episodes or is like getting into this program themselves, hopefully it can serve as some inspiration, because if this doesn't show that you got to start from somewhere, I don't know what does, right? Yeah. So anyway, what's going on? I am starting grad school at night. I'll be continuing to work my full-time job, which I've made a couple videos talking about where I am in my career and how I got there. But basically the TLDR is I studied aerospace engineering in school. I got decent grades, but mostly focused on internships. Converted one of those internships to a full-time job in like software engineering for machine learning algorithms in the aerospace and defense sector or industry. And I've been doing that for about a year and a half. I really enjoy it. I learned a lot. It definitely has pros and cons, but overall, I'm super happy with where I wound up. And so I want to continue working here, but I also want to get a little more education for reasons I'll talk about in this video. And I'm going to do it at night. So I'll be taking one class a semester, and that will take me about a little over 3 years to do. Because, yeah, 3 semesters a year. They do summers as well. And if you can't tell from the hoodie, it might be hard to read. I'm doing this program at Georgia Tech. So it's the Georgia Tech OMSCS program, Online Masters of Science and Computer Science. Yeah, and I'm really excited about this program. I applied to it. I don't know when that process formally ended. I'll talk about that more next time. But I applied earlier this year, got in more recently, and I'm starting right away, spring 2025. So spring 2025 means January 2025. So, and this is right before Christmas. So yeah, we're jumping right into it. Okay, so yeah, why am I doing this? Let's start off with why this program in particular. Next video, I'm going to talk a lot more about the program, like in more detail. But for this one, I just kind of want to talk about why I'm doing it, right? This program is one of the oldest and most legit, for lack of a better word, legit seeming programs I could find. It was started in 2014, and one thing that really jumped out at me was like, the degree you get in the end is the same exact degree as if you had gone on campus, right? It doesn't say like online masters on your diploma. It just says Masters of Science in Computer Science from Georgia Tech, which, by the way, is I think number 4 in computer science last time I checked that. So it's a pretty damn good school. I'm very honored that I got in and a little surprised, but yeah, so for a great school to offer a program that, the degree they give you, they value just as much as if you were in person, really says a lot. And it especially says a lot because I did a portion of my school in undergrad online because of COVID. And, I don't blame my school because obviously nobody was prepared, but them not being prepared and having to make that transition, the quality of education I got for those, like, I think it was like a year and a half of undergrad, honestly went down pretty significantly. And I really felt the heat when I got back to school in person. So, to make a concerted effort in 2014, right? So a decade ago, basically, over a decade ago, to start a program online, make sure that the students you're graduating are the highest quality and represent your school well. That also means you have to make sure the education you give them is high quality. And, there's lots of stuff online. Like, there's a huge Reddit community, which it's kind of made me like a chronic redditor, which is probably the first symptom of this of this degree, of which I'm sure there'll be more. But yeah, so there's like a huge Reddit community. There's lots of resources online. There's lots of documentation on Georgia Tech's website and other people's websites. There's YouTube channels. Like I started watching this guy named Coolster Codes, who's pretty awesome, who's reviewed a lot of the classes, which I will definitely do as I take them. There's like a huge online community of people who do this, and it just like it didn't seem like some kind of, not to dump on other programs, but like random one-off like certificate thing. Like sure, just throw it online and like collect some tuition money, and who cares, right? Supplemental income for a university. Like it seems to be taken very seriously by all the students and all the faculty. Well, all is a stretch, but most. And I was wooed, to say the least. Another big thing is that it's only $8,000, and that's $8,000 total, right? Which is really freaking cheap for a program, especially too when it's like I'm going to be working at the same time, so there's no opportunity cost. It's not like I'm missing out on income I could have earned. The opportunity cost will probably be my sanity, but financially speaking, there's no opportunity cost. And I'm very grateful. I don't have any debt from undergrad, and I think to be honest, not to get political, but with the state of the economy right now, I as much as I want to do more school for reasons I'll talk about in the next section, like as much as I want to do more school for professional and like philosophical reasons, I could never justify like going into debt and missing out on so much income over the next few years. Like 'cause things are only getting more expensive. And so to find a program that I could do while working, and it's cheap, and it's from a good school that will probably make it worth it, was like a no-brainer for me. And yeah, I guess like the two other points I wrote down here, I'm trying to speak off the cuff, but I do have some points that I wanted to make here. First of all, like there's a lot of flexibility in what you take. There's 5 specializations, which are basically like majors. I mean, your degree is always computer science, but you pick a specialization. I'm definitely going to butcher this right now, but it's like human computer interaction, computing systems, which is kind of like the general one, computer graphics, machine learning, and perception and robotics, which perception and robotics is the one I'm going to pick. There might be a cybersecurity one I'm forgetting, but there's a lot of specializations, right? And, even beyond those specializations, the specialization accounts for about half your coursework, right? So there's 10 classes, like I said earlier, and only 5 of them are dictated by your quote unquote major. And the other 5, you can take whatever the hell you want. There's just like a big old list. And if you can get into the class, you can get into the class, right? And so having very specific goals like that appealed to me a lot. And that was also like part of the reason I chose this program over other ones. Like for example, I did look at doing another degree in aerospace for a little while. And to tell you the truth, like I like drones, I like autonomy. I know what I like. I do not want to take another class on aerodynamics. Okay, I just can't do it anymore. I don't want to take another class on like aircraft structural engineering or some other shit, or like have to do propulsion stuff. Like I did it once. I did my time. I just want to focus on what I enjoy. And while there will be things I'm sure there will be random shit in my program that I'm not into, right? Like random computer stuff that just has nothing to do with the field I'm into. But, the degree of flexibility and customization that they offered was like pretty remarkable to me. And then last but not least, it seemed like made for people working. So one of the benefits I have of work is like they'll subsidize classes you can take at universities. And I work near a university. So I was like, okay, like I literally work walking distance from university, right? So I was like, why don't I take classes during the day and I'll just work later and I can get credit from this great school and do it all at the same time. And like, I honestly wound up dropping that class. And in hindsight, I don't think it was because of the difficulty. I think it was just, really not like all the other people I was taking it with were students in school right now doing this full time, right? And so the pace of homework assignment, it was also during the summer, which was a bad decision, but the pace of assignments was tough. Staying later to get my hours in at work was tough. not having like the dramatic drop off between having work and school all on the weekend on the week, and then nothing on the weekends, like kind of just was like really jarring. And then I would get nothing done over the weekend, but because you're in school and you're expected to work a little bit over the weekend, like I would just be exhausted and bummed through Saturday and Sunday, and then not get anything done for school. And then the treadmill starts again, right? And basically, after a few weeks of that treadmill going, I was like, okay, I gotta stop, because there was a point where I was like, oh, this is affecting my job, and I don't want to lose that. So, got to put priorities in order. But this program, like, it will be very difficult. They do hold you to a high standard, from what I can tell. But it, like, 99% of people taking this program are working currently. I'm sure there's an actual figure for that somewhere, but the majority of people taking this program are working right now. And so, lectures and office hours are at night, right? Lots of materials asynchronous. Tests are not given during the workday, right? Like, just little shit like that, I think makes a big difference. At least in my experience, having had to drop a class that wasn't built that way. And no shade to the people who were in that class or the students in it. It was just like not a good fit for me. So, them being flexible both in like what you study and how you study it had a lot of appeal to me, because I do want to continue to work on my job. So that's why GT OMSCS. And again, like I said, I think I have a couple weeks until classes actually start, and I'll start talking about like, oh shit, I have homework due. But this one I want to talk about why I'm doing the program. Next one I want to talk about the program itself, like in more detail and some logistics, and then here we go, right? Showtime. But why am I doing this, right? So, for one, as much as I enjoy my job and I learn a lot, to be honest, it's pretty chill. Right? It's like a cool 40 hours, right? And I had some personal stuff I had to figure out. I was moving away from home, dealing with shit, and it's been really good to have like kind of a pseudo sabbatical in a weird way after finishing undergrad for a little over a year. But I have a lot more in the tank. I'm only 24, right? So I have a lot of energy and a lot of ambition, and I want to put it towards something meaningful, and I think this will be meaningful. And part of why I think it's meaningful is because I work in research, and a lot of the people I work with have these advanced degrees, and both from a knowledge level and from a door opening level, I've realized that grad school offers a lot, right? For my specific circumstances, right? I mean, I try to work on like really novel tech in a very established and to me important industry like national security, and the government loves their degrees, right? Contractors love their degrees, employers love their degrees. Publishing to conferences is a lot easier, like the more technical basically meaning technically educated people you have on the paper, right? So people love their degrees, and it opens a lot of doors. And also, like, the PhD people I work with, and even people with masters, like just masters like I'm doing, they learn a lot of shit in the, if they did it full time, maybe like year or two that they were doing it full time, or if they did it part time, like over the several years, like it will be for me, several years that they were doing it at night, right? Like you learn a lot that if you're just working, even if I had a more intense job that was like 50 hours a week or 60 hours a week, doing school where you get that theoretical coursework setting, and then work where you get that applied setting at the same time seems to have a lot of value for people. And I want to be like them because they're pretty damn good. So yeah, I think there's a lot of merit to doing a graduate degree for my goals. But at a deeper level, like this is, I titled this section like, but why though? Because it is gonna be, I anticipate it being a lot of work. So why the hell do I want to do it? I think there's two main reasons. The first main reason is I really want to push myself. It's been a good year, just kind of like chilling out for a while and getting acclimated to living on my own and working a full-time job. But I want to push myself harder. I miss that feeling of having a full schedule. And also, like, I know a lot of people had this experience. I'm not saying graduating college or undergrad is not an accomplishment, because it definitely is. It was for me, and it was even more so for lots of people, I'm sure. But like for me, it was kind of a given. It was like the thing you do. Like, oh, you're going to college, right? And for me, it was like, oh, you're studying engineering, right? I mean, I like math and science. Engineering was a no brainer. All right, go, right? But this is going to be voluntary. I'm going to be on my own because it's an online program. So a big question I have, which I'll talk about questions at the end, is like, how the hell am I going to meet other people and make friends? Uh, I'm going out on my own. I'm volunteering to do this. I'm paying my own money. Um, yeah, like it's kind of a new journey that I think is going to teach me a lot as a person, like force me to grow a lot as a person. And then the other thing is, like, I mentioned having more gas in the tank than I'm currently using, but you know, I'm kind of addicted to constant growth, like constant challenge and adventure, right? Which definitely has its drawbacks, but it's like, when you're an undergrad, you're taking a new class every semester. You got the different clubs you're bouncing between, and independent research you're doing, and then internships in the summer, and every 5 minutes somebody's inviting you to a startup and shit. Like, it's addicting. It's crazy. And you get out of school, and part of why I started this YouTube channel is like, you get out of school and all that shit just drops off the face of the earth. It's like, where'd everybody go? Um, so yeah, I miss that. And I want to continue accelerating at a pace that, similar to how I was doing it in school. Because I feel like, personally, a lot of people kind of are growing off of undergrad and then just kind of like peter out, right? Which is fine. All right, I recorded the rest of this video and my mic died, so we're gonna redo it. But the last thing I was talking about was like some open-ended questions I have. The main two being, how the hell do I manage my time? That's gonna be hard. I've never worked full-time and gone to school part-time. Basically, my internships and semesters like alternated, right? So I was never doing them both at once. That should be interesting. And then, along with that, you got all the other stuff going on in my life, like this channel, like friends, family, girlfriend, stuff like that. So how do I juggle everything? And I think that regardless of the technical stuff I learn, putting in the effort and having the discipline to get this done, have this achievement, is valuable in and of itself, right? And number two, like, beyond that being worthwhile, is it going to be worth it in my career and in my education? Like, am I going to learn stuff that is really valuable and does push, like, move the needle towards the career goals I have when I figure them out? Because like I said, I'm pretty young and I'm still figuring out like what I want to do. And so I'm hoping that this simultaneously like pushes me towards what I think I want, and then also helps me be better informed about what I want. And I'm optimistic about it doing so. It's an online degree and it's part-time, so most people are working, and a lot of people are older than me. I think I'm probably on the younger end. I don't have figures on that, but I'm kind of on the younger end of people who do this degree, and so it's like, yeah, I think I have a lot to learn. Also, like, going to be talking with professors again. I think, for all their faults, professors are really good relationships to have, and they can hopefully teach me a lot inside and out of the classroom. I guess class is Zoom, but anyway. That means it's time to end the video. That was cringe as hell. But yeah, I'm super excited, and I'm also scared shitless. But in my experience, when you're really, really scared to jump, it's exactly when you should. So yeah, I'll be jumping in 2 weeks, and I will take you guys along for the ride. Hopefully we have a parachute. So yeah, thanks so much for watching. I'm the Unhinged Engineer. I make, like, this is my first vlog. I've made lots of other videos, some technical, but most about like career development and how we can, achieve our goals in engineering. And yeah, if you like this kind of content and you enjoy it, get some value from it, like, comment, subscribe. See you next time.